not saying everybody toxic, because I know that's like one of the big things right now. Everybody toxic, so toxic, so toxic. If everybody in your life toxic, sis, like you probably the toxic one. Let's just be honest. But I mean, I digress. In today's video, I want to talk about some things you can do while you're starting your spiritual journey, how to start your spiritual journey, and just giving you some tips based off where I'm at right now on my journey. So my first tip is that you must realize that the journey has already begun. So what does that mean? Like coming here on earth, the fact that you decided to come here as a soul, from my understanding, is already showing that you are on your spiritual journey because you decided to come here on earth. And there's plenty of other dimensions and worlds and all different places that we could be in this whole like universe or galaxy or whatever, but you chose to come here on earth, so that already shows that your spiritual journey has started. It's just a matter of, okay, now you are aware of it now. So that's the first thing. Next is to start to question and formulate spirituality for you. What does it mean for you? It's gonna look different to everyone, and I know right now with the internet and people posting stuff on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and things like that, it looks like spirituality has to be a certain way for everyone, and it doesn't. That's what, you know, really separates spirituality from religion, is that it's about how you see things. It's how you I guess resonate with it. It's up to you, really. And understand that your viewpoint on spirituality, or what it means for you, is subject to change. So at one point, spirituality to you could look like being in an organized religion. At one point, spirituality to you could look like meditating every day. It could look like, you know, using tarot cards. It could look like the way you eat. Something like that could be your sense of being in a more spiritual way of life. It's going to look different for you throughout your entire life as you grow and you evolve, because what we're doing is we're on a journey. We're getting to a higher state of being, a higher state of knowledge, a higher state of, just like I said, of just being who you are. So it's gonna change, and it's subject to change, and that's good. It should be changing or evolving into something. It should be. It shouldn't always be the exact same way, because what does that do for you? It doesn't really serve you to be the same exact way throughout your entire life, or to look at life the same exact way throughout your entire life. So something else you can do to get started on your, I'm going to say started because like I said, it's already begun, but something else you can do on your spiritual journey to get started on it is to meditate. Meditation, it can really change your life. I know it has definitely helped me. Now, I'm not as like disciplined as I want to be when it comes to meditation, so that's definitely something that I'm working on. But when I first became aware of my spiritual journey, and I was okay, this is something I'm embarking on, that I'm going full-fledged. Like I was meditating twice a day, every day. It was just so, it was much needed. Like it was very much needed. But I feel like I still do meditate every single day, but it's not to sit down in front of an altar and like really feeling it type of meditation. Sometimes I just meditate throughout the day. I meditate on my thoughts. I meditate on my emotions and try to really process how I'm feeling at that time. And then also try to meditate on how somebody else might be feeling and look at the situation from their point of view. And also detaching from something emotionally so I can see it from a higher perspective. So I feel like for me, I meditate every single day, even though I don't always go to my altar and burn ancestral money and do all that jazz every single day, which I definitely want to, and I'm working towards that. Hold on. It's definitely something that I'm working towards, and it's a goal that I have for myself, but I don't always traditionally just sit down and do it like how people traditionally meditate. But definitely meditation will be helpful for you, and I'll do more videos about it. But basically what it's helping you to do is to, one, quiet your mind. It's helping you to focus more in your regular life. It's going to help you to focus more. It's going to help you to be more in the present moment. It's going to help you to just quiet your mind so that you're not always trying to problem solve and be all over the place, and you're not super emotional, you're not super detached, like you're in a state of just being. Okay, that's like my goal, is to just be in a state of being. Does that make sense to anybody? But it definitely helps you with that. It helps you to be in a better state. I don't want to say better or worse or whatever, but it just helps you to really connect with certain thoughts that you need to connect with, certain emotions you want to connect with, because it just quiets the mind, and it just allows you to really take in things that you need to take in, if that makes any sense. Now, so I know some people are kind of turned off from meditation because they feel like it's doing this or a third, but start off with it. You can easily do it with guided meditations on YouTube. I still use guided meditations here and there. Just put in 10-minute meditation. Start off with 5 or 10 minutes of meditation every morning, or right before you go to bed, or throughout the day. Just do it for 5 to 10 minutes a day, and just kind of get a consistent practice of meditation, and you will definitely see a difference, and it will really help you to be really be tapped in, tuned in to what you should be tapped in and tuned into. Okay, so the next thing is to don't allow yourself to be overwhelmed. Take your time learning and exploring new fields of study or practice. It's not a race, it's a journey, a daily commitment to self. Okay, I wrote these notes. I'm like reading them, like, okay, girl, you was really on it. But yeah, it's like, don't, because I know, like, when you're first learning about spirituality, or you're like okay, like, I'm removing myself from this way of thinking and going to a different way of thinking, and it can be very overwhelming, because you start to learn about crystals, and then you start learning about tarot. If that's something you're into, you start learning about tarot. You start maybe learning about chakras, or you start learning about meditation, or you start learning about eating a different type of diet, or, oh, what about this conspiracy theory over here? And, oh, should I do this? Should I dress this way? Should my hair be this way? Should I stop doing that? Should I stop talking to these people? Everybody's toxic. Like, you can go down a rabbit hole with this thing called spirituality, because it's such a huge umbrella of thoughts, of ways of being, of ways of living. But overstand, I should say, that it is a journey, and that journey starts with you. So that's why I say meditation is really going to help you, because that helps you to get in tune with you. You're not buying anything from anybody. You're not listening to anybody. You're not trying to, do yoga positions and nothing like that, which yoga can be a form of meditation. But you are just tuning in to you and what you got going on, because you have all the answers, like, literally. Like, I 100% believe that ideology, that we come here with all the information that we need to know. We come here with all of we are already whole. We are already where we are supposed to be. It's just a matter of remembering it. It's a matter of actually being like, oh, okay, being aware of it. That's where that awareness really, really comes in, because it's already there. Especially because I just feel like it's going to a whole nother video, but we are all who we are going to be, and we're just evolving into that person or into that being. No different from looking at a plant, looking at a seed. A watermelon seed is already a watermelon. It just has to get into the ground, get some sunlight, get some good nutrients, get some water, and it needs time. But it's already a watermelon. It's literally has already everything it needs to be a watermelon. But there's other components that must come in to help activate it, and to help give it that nurturing environment that it needs to evolve into the watermelon. But it's already a watermelon. Like, you don't have to do anything to the actual seed except for, plant it. You know what I'm saying? You have to just activate it. But it's already a watermelon. Like, it doesn't have to do anything different, honestly. It just has to be there in the ground. But so just piggybacking off of my analogy of this watermelon seed, if you think about it, yeah, I'm trying to do this with the kids. If you think about it, watermelons produce watermelon seeds, right? And then you then plant that watermelon seed and start and grow another watermelon. It's similar to us. We already came from source energy, God energy, from God. We are the seeds of God. We get planted and we start growing, and we start growing into who we are. We do what? We become God again, or we reconnect with God again. So it's just like this continuous cycle of growing, not really knowing who you are, not really knowing your potential, then putting in that time, that work, that effort, and letting time go by, and growing into who you are, into who you've always been, because you came from source energy, or from God, or from the actual watermelon that produced the watermelon seed. Does that make sense to anybody? Let me know, because that just really popped in my head. Okay, let me go be somebody mommy. I feel like it's the same way with us. Like, we're already who we are. It's just a matter of getting there. And just know that it does take time, and you don't have to do it based off how someone else is doing it. And your journey is not going to look like somebody else's journey. For me, I think yoga is amazing. I think it's amazing to be able to get into a mental state of mind and be in the moment and work with your body and do these different positions and to do breath work. I think that's amazing. But I'm not there yet. I haven't even committed to a daily practice. I'm very inconsistent with that, but I'm working on it. So I think, like, I could look at somebody and be like, I want to be like that. Like, oh my goodness, why haven't I done this? Why haven't I done that? If I would have started a few years ago, or if I would have started when I really started to get into yoga, which was like over 10 years ago, I would be like amazing yogi. Like, I can't think about that. I can't focus on that. I have to just work with where I'm at right now and just take the steps to get to wherever I'm going to be. I can't compare myself to other people. What's up? I can't compare myself to other people, and I can't be overwhelmed by all these different things out there. So I definitely suggest you just take your time. Maybe start on one thing. Start with meditation, then work your way into other things, okay? So next is to understand that there are ups and downs and loops and turns. Yes, it's not linear. Yes. You will be faced with different lessons along the way. So what I mean when I say that is that you think, okay, there's this thought that we think, kind of like with school, we think, okay, we go to this grade, we learn this. We go to this grade, we learn that. Like, and then by the time we get to a certain age and a certain amount of years, we're going to be in college and we're going to be knowing this. But that's not really how life works, because you will get to one thing with your spiritual journey. You'll be like, okay, I've mastered this. Like, I'm eating the way I'm supposed to be eating. And then something might happen. Maybe you get pregnant. Maybe you get ill. Maybe you go to school. Maybe there's a different stressor that comes in your life. And your eating habits completely flip around on you. You're going back to how you was eating before. And then you're like, okay, let me get back on it and let me change the way I'm eating again and go back to eating the way I was supposed to be eating, or the way I want to eat, right? So there's going to be some twists and turns. Once you think that you've overcome your pettiness, somebody gonna come through and show you still petty. Like, you're still toxic. Even though you think everybody else toxic, you probably still have toxic tendencies. Trust and believe, I know this from personal experience, that you are going to be faced with different challenges throughout your journey, and you're going to realize, like, okay, I'm not above certain things like I thought I was, and maybe it's still some things I need to work on, get to the root of that trauma or whatever, so that I can overcome that. But just know that it's not linear. It's not like, okay, I did this, I'm great. I did this, I'm great. No. You're going to be constantly being tested. You're going to be constantly brought back to your old way of thinking, your old way of doing, your old way of feeling. And that's okay. It's a journey. It's not going to be perfect. You're not perfect, and that's okay. But it's just all about you learning and growing throughout the entire process and becoming more and more aware. More and more aware when somebody says something and puts you in a certain state of mind. You be like, oh, okay, I'm in this state of mind because she said this. It's making me think about how my auntie used to talk to me when I was a little kid, and she used to go off on me, and it's making me think about how this teacher told me I was never going to be nothing like this is why I'm feeling this way. It ain't got nothing to do with her. It's got to do with something I'm working on. So just keep that in mind, that it's not linear, and don't beat yourself up if you go back to certain ways of acting or feeling. Just be aware of that feeling, be aware of that action, and then move forward. Keep moving forward, keep growing. Always keep that in mind, okay? Because I, for one, definitely beat myself up about a lot of things, but it's not necessary, and it's not conducive to my overall growth. So if you're at all like that, have forgiveness and compassion for yourself and move forward and just learn the lessons as you go. Something else is that be open to change, and also be open to realizing you haven't gotten the message. Ooh, when did I write this? Like, okay, so what that means, be open to change, being, like I said in the beginning, is that you are going to constantly be evolving and changing throughout this whole process. I mean, that's life, right? So be open to that. Be open to being like, okay, I once thought that this was the way that we had to do things. for myself on my journey. But now I'm realizing, no, I could do it this way, and I could learn more from this way, or from these people, or from this ideology, and perhaps I can get some information from them, and then I can still go in the same direction I'm going in, but on a different path, if that makes any sense. But also, like I said, whenever something keeps coming back to you, certain people, certain feelings, certain emotions keep coming back to you, that shows that you have not learned that lesson. And that's a whole other video. But just be open to realizing, like, look, there's a reason why I keep attracting the same argument every freaking single day, or every other week with my boss, or with my man, with my chick. Like, there's a reason why I keep going through these same things. What is it about me? What is it about my emotions, about my feelings, about my mindset that's causing this to keep coming up? And y'all, this is therapy for myself, not just to y'all. This is a message to myself, that you have to start to see those things and really try to work through them. So the next one is that, let's see, start to question everything and everyone. Be open, be childlike. So this is, I think, something really, really big, and this is usually what happens before we realize we're on our spiritual journey, is that something clicks. We just literally, what they call it, stay woke. You just wake up. And I'm gonna do a separate video about that, but so I'm just gonna keep it kind of small here, because I'm gonna do a separate video. But start to question all your thought patterns. When you are thinking about, okay, I want to, something so simple, like I want to start losing weight. Think, okay, pops in your head, you be like, oh, well, I can't do it because of this. I can't do it because of that. Why? Why do I feel that way? Why? Keep asking yourself why? So you can get to the root of certain things, and you can start to realize, like, oh, I am still holding on to old thought patterns that's causing me to stay in this matrix, causing me to stay in this loop of not being able to grow. We, on a spiritual journey, we want to grow. And the reason why some people don't realize that they're on a journey and that they're like actually evolving, even if, because some people aren't evolving, let's just be honest. But the reason why you don't see yourself like progressing is because you are allowing yourself to go through that same loop over and over. So it's important for you to start to question certain things, start to question certain people, so that you can be like, oh, this is the truth of it. I thought it was this, but it's actually that. Does that make any sense? It probably doesn't. I'm probably kind of rambling right now. But start to question everything and be childlike. Be open. Now, you always have to protect yourself, because there's a lot of entities and people out here that's like, oh, you open? Oh, I could just put in whatever I need to put up in you and have you come towards my way. Be open to things, you know, but always keep your guard up, right? I feel like you should always kind of be discerning and be like, okay, I hear what you got to say. Take a minute to yourself to digest if that's really what you want to bring into your mindset, into your life, and then go from there. But be open to things. Do not be closed-minded on this, because you just never know who and what is here to help you. You do not know. You have no idea. You have no idea. So be open to it. Okay, so next is, in the beginning, I really suggest that you focus on yourself. This kind of goes back to what I was talking about. You want to be a yoga, like being into yoga and being a yogi. Like, I could sit and look at how someone else is doing something, or I could take the time to focus on myself and focus on, why haven't I practiced every single day? Why do I really want to go into yoga practice? Why do I want to do this? And just start to do it versus looking at what somebody else is doing. And this is also the case if you're the type of person who's like, you get into spirituality, or you get into crystals or chakras or whatever, and you looking up like thousands of videos about it, right? That's cool, because you want to get that knowledge. That's great. You know, it passes the time and you're just soaking it all up. But make sure you like, comment, and subscribe though, okay? But it's always important to focus on yourself, because like I said in the beginning, you already have the answers. You already came here with everything you needed to know, and you already had everything that you needed in your pocket. So it's always important to go back to you, and you can do that through meditation, through journal work, through inner child work, through inner work, shadow work, all that jazz. But always take the time to focus on yourself, especially if you find that you're putting a lot of energy into watching or reading or digesting other people's thoughts, if that makes sense. It's always important to go back to you and have some time to yourself, so that you can be You can be yourself, and you're not relying off of somebody else to feed you spiritually. Okay, so number 8, look at and examine your closest relationships. Do a writing exercise to evaluate the connection and see if you should still continue it. So I think this is important because birds of a feather do flock together. So it's really important for you to look at your friendships, look at your family, look at your relationships, whether it be business relationships, colleagues, the people that you actually getting it in with. Look at those relationships, okay, and situationships and friendships and all those ships. Look at them and think about that person. You can do a writing exercise. What does this person mean to me? What do I mean to this person? How does this person make me feel? What thoughts do I get when I think about this person? What does this person fit into my current life? Do I see this person in my future life? Like, really take the time to sit with that, because sometimes we keep people around us in our circle that remind us of who we were, but they're not necessarily helping us to be who we are going to be or who we are working to be. So it's really important to examine relationships. And I'm not saying everybody toxic, because I know that's like one of the big things right now. Everybody toxic, so toxic, so toxic. If everybody in your life toxic, sis, like, you probably the toxic one. Let's just be honest. But I digress. But definitely look at people, because you want to make sure, like I said, it's a cycle. Certain times you get into these certain cycles of people, and you have to realize, okay, is this person getting me to the next level, or are they just keeping me in the past, or they keeping me attached to my old way of thinking? And if they are, you need to really examine why that person is still in your life, and do you still want them in your life? I'm not saying just be like, a person fresh out of jail that just came into like Islam or something, and you're like, I'm done with everybody, F everybody, like, I'm done with it, I don't need nobody in my circle, like, I'm over y'all, like, y'all beneath me. And I'm not saying people do that, but I'm just saying, like in movies, whatever. But I'm not saying that you have to do that, but just be really, really, be more aware of the people in your life, the conversations. Or y'all having conversations about stuff that you feel like you want to talk about, or y'all just still talking about stuff that you're like, okay, I'm kind of over talking about people all the time, or I'm kind of over just every time we're around each other, we're complaining about our job, or complaining about this, or complaining about our baby daddy. Like, I'm tired of doing that. Like, I'm moving towards something else. Like, I don't want that in my life. Think about that, okay? Pay attention to the people in your circle, and that includes family too. Family is not exempt. Sometimes we choose our family members because they're going to help us to learn a lesson here on earth. And once you learn that lesson, you may not need to be attached to them as you were before. You can, subtract that person on a certain level from your life. So, my last thing is to pay attention to signs, symbols, and synchronicities. These will grow your intuition. So, when you're on your spiritual journey and you're like kind of like seeing like the same numbers, like for me, like I'm always like, if I'm thinking about something, I'll see, like today I was thinking about something, I saw the number 1133. Then I was thinking about something else, and I saw the number 1144. I was like, dang, like what the heck, and only 11 minutes passed away, and my life path number is 11. So I was like, okay, certain numbers you'll see over and over again, go look them up, because those are considered angel numbers, like 1212, 1111, 144, 133. Like, look, if you're thinking about something, you see a number like on a clock, go look up that number, 555. It might be connected to something that you need to see, especially if you see numbers in your dreams. You get receipts and they have a certain number, you keep seeing the same numbers. That is your angels, your guides, your higher self trying to show you something, because the more you get more spiritual, the more open you are to having certain things come into your life and certain things come into your consciousness to help you to be aware of what's going on. It's all about awareness. It really is just about seeing things for what they really are, and also seeing things on a deeper level. And when you start to see angel numbers and stuff like that, that's spirit trying to talk to you, honestly. So look up those numbers, and it will help to grow your intuition. And also meditation, working with yourself, being with yourself, taking time to yourself is going to build up your intuition so that you can really be like, okay, is this for me? Is this not for me? Should I be saying this? Should I have this person around me? Is this the decisions that I should make? It will help you to grow more and be more in tune with your higher self. And if you don't know what higher self means, it just means like the part of you that knows everything and has got it all under control. Like the part of you that's like got that life together, like that's your higher self in my mind. Whatever that means for me, right? So that's that. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I just wanted to give you some things you can do when you're on your journey. And it's not necessarily, you don't have to go buy nothing. I mean, you could buy some crystals from your girl, but you don't really have to buy anything. You don't have to go to nobody and ask them to you know, do a reading for you and like that, but you can, and that's perfectly fine. Like I've done that before, but I think it's important for you to do some of the things I talked about in this video. Also, something as a bonus, something I think everybody should do when they're embarking on a spiritual journey is get your birth chart read. You don't have to get a professional to do it. You can just look up free birth chart, look it up, put your birthday in, especially if you know your time of birth. If you don't even know your time of birth, you can do it, but I suggest you pay, I think it's like $27 I had to pay, and get like the actual record. Like I actually got my original birth certificate and it showed the time of birth. Get that, plug that into a birth chart, online little birth chart reading, and learn your chart. Now, some people, everything go deeper, right? Some people go into learning about Vedic astrology. Some people look at Western astrology. I currently look at Western astrology, and I am going to learn more about Vedic. But right now, I'm in the Western way of thinking, but I do kind of be thinking about Vedic. But that's another video. But look at your birth chart. That is a separate video. But once you learn about your birth chart and you start to really see like your cosmic makeup, you're definitely going to be like your mind going to blow open about yourself. And then you start looking at other people's birth chart. It's just going to be like, what? This is why I've learned so many things about myself looking at my birth chart and then looking at like all my ex's birth chart. I was like, I attract people that have this. Every freaking person I attract has this in their chart. So yeah, so I'd be like, what? Why am I attracting like that type of person? Especially if you look at stuff, it's deep. It's so freaking deep. I don't even know why I didn't put that on here, but looking at your birth chart is going to help. And I'll do a separate video. But if y'all have any questions, put them in the comment section. If you all want to add on to this list, I highly, highly suggest in the comment section, let me know, what have you been doing while on your spiritual journey? What are some tips that you have for people while they're on their journey? I want to know in the comment section. Help us all out because we're all on this journey together. Best believe that. Yes, I'm doing a video talking about it, but I'm on this journey with you. So definitely put in the comment section any of your suggestions or tips or whatever. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all. Peace. In all that you do, stay forever true.